Good afternoon, Sue Smith sitting in for Aaron Rand. And listen, the Strait of Hormuz apparently has reopened for now. There's a little bit of still back and forth. But fuel prices are still high and probably will be into the future. And that is already affecting travelers. So for those of you thinking about your summer plans, what is the best way to go? Should you be booking now? We've reached out to Barry Choi. He's a money and travel expert, and he joins us on the line. Hi, Barry.
Hi, Sue. Good to be back.
It's great to have you. So, I guess the basic question is, should people be booking their summer travel now?
I would say it always makes sense to book early. Generally speaking, flight prices, hotel prices are cheaper the earlier you do it. And when you think about it, the summer is not that far away. Many people are also thinking about their vacation plans. So as that airspace and hotel space fills up, prices are going to go up.
Mm-hmm. So, when I think of summer vacations, I often think of like road trips. But obviously for airfare, people go to, I guess, Europe, the big destinations, maybe South America. Like what are the sort of routes that are most commonly traveled in the summer?
Well, the nice thing about Montreal is it's a major hub and it can get you almost anywhere. It can get you to Europe, like you said, South America. I've also noticed there's Air Canada announced new routes to different parts of Europe, even to Africa on Air Transat. So many different options. I think people, or at least many Canadians, we don't realize how spoiled we are by choice. That said, I think as people start to look at airfare, and we talked about fuel surcharges just a little bit, you're going to realize that prices have gone up, but it may not necessarily have to do with fuel. As we all know, there's a crisis in the Middle East. There's a war right now. So a lot of travelers would normally transit through the Middle East to, say, India. Yeah. They're now going through Europe.
Right.
So as a result, Europe has become more expensive. And as we know from previous months, there was some violence in Mexico, even though it's passed. A lot of travelers are still afraid. There's a fuel crisis in Cuba. So even the Caribbean has become a little bit more pricier. So I think anyone looking to travel ahead, they just need to prepare for that and just budget accordingly.
Yeah, and I guess your point is prices are going to go up, not down, right? Because some people like to wait for last-minute deals.
I love that myth, but I really recommend people to get over it.
Really?
Last-minute deals. Yeah, like there's no such thing as showing up at the airport to fly standby, unless you're a staff member or your friends or family with staff. You can't show up with your suitcase at the airport and put me on any plane, I'll take any seat. Because the thing is, these airlines and hotels have realized, why would we reduce the price when we know people who want to travel last minute are going to pay even more? So they're going to charge more. But just to go back to like booking early and just looking at prices overall in general, one good example is Disney World. Disney always, well, not always, but quite often has exclusive offers for Canadians, and sometimes they stack. Right now they have an offer. If you're booking at least 4-day theme park tickets, you're paying a lower daily rate for your tickets. And that actually stacks with a promo where if you're staying 5 nights on one of their properties, you can save another 30%. So if you're kind of doing your research in general, it doesn't matter where you're going, whether it be Disney World, Orlando, Europe, Asia, start doing your research in advance and you might actually find those deals. And as I was saying, if you book earlier, it might not be as expensive as you think.
Yeah. It's funny you talk about the Disneyland because, or Disney World, one of the places that I went to a long time ago, but I remember there were all kinds of things that you could do, like all kinds of strategies to make it cheaper. And it definitely seems like certainly places in the States like Disney are really trying to get the Canadian dollar back.
Who wouldn't want the Canadian dollar back, right? And to be fair to Disney, they've always supported Canadians. They're super friendly. And Air Canada actually just announced a partnership where they're the new airline of Disney. And what's interesting about that partnership is that you can actually use your Aeroplan points to book vacation packages with Disney. So that's another way to potentially save your loyalty points in general. It doesn't matter if you've got Aeroplan points, WestJet, or say one of your bank loyalty programs or bank credit cards. If you can use your points, that will obviously offset a lot of your costs, assuming you have those points to begin with.
Are you seeing other American companies or that are trying to entice Canadian travelers? Because that's kind of a no-brainer, not to mention that distances are shorter than going to Europe or South America.
Yeah, so I think the big one you probably saw was Las Vegas back in February. But I personally think it was a bit of a publicity stunt. For those people who aren't aware, they were offering, 3 hotels were offering at par services, but you really had to read the fine print. It only applied to 3 hotels, and it was in downtown Las Vegas. And I don't know if you've been to downtown Las Vegas. It's not exactly the most exciting place. And then on top of that, the at-par transfer ratio was basically only for gambling. It's funny because a month later, the general manager said, 3,000 rooms were booked, 55,000 more guests. Canadians are coming. But it's like, I did the math there. That's more than 18 people per room. It just doesn't make any sense. So it's in their best interest to say, people are coming. Right? I think professional gamblers got smart and just got the Canadian dollars and exchanged it for American dollars and then did their regular gambling, right?
You know what's funny is my daughter and a bunch of her friends to celebrate graduation are going down to Vegas. And first of all, July. And second of all, I'm wondering, are they... So downtown is different from the Strip then?
The downtown is like the old part of Vegas, and it's not like I'm hating on Vegas. Don't get me wrong.
Sounds like you are very.
No. I'm a certain age, and I have many female friends who have gone to Vegas to watch the Backstreet Boys, and I do not blame them whatsoever. Right? The Sphere, that looks a crazy experience. I love how they're all into it. And
also,
if
Cirque,
you're older,
you can see the great Cirque shows there too.
That's exactly it. If you're older and you've got some money to spend, you want to relive your early 20s, your late teens, go for it. You know what? I'm not going to judge you where you go. Obviously, we've got a lot of great things to explore in Canada, but at least I'm not judging.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. Are there Canadian travel agencies or travel deals that are taking advantage of people deciding to stay in Canada?
Well, there's the Canada Strong Pass that was introduced last year by our government, which basically, I don't remember the exact details, but many museums are free. Great parks.
Rail travel was cheaper too.
Exactly. So that's kind of beneficial for the people of Montreal also because obviously Ottawa has a lot of national museums, so there's potentially savings there. Via Rail is very accessible in Eastern Canada. And obviously Quebec has a lot of national parks too. So depending on where you are, it can make a lot of sense sometimes. But unfortunately, and I really hate to say this, but hotels in Canada are very expensive. Yeah. Montreal, Toronto, Vancouver. So sometimes I don't blame people when they start looking elsewhere. And this is a real issue we have in Canada. And as we all know, that if you want to fly across the country, also very expensive.
Yeah, totally. And so just before I let you go, I mean, because basically you're saying to people, do your homework, book early. I'm wondering about travel insurance. What do you think of that? I mean, I get travel insurance on my credit card, so I'd never buy extra. But maybe considering how volatile the world is right now, it's a good idea. I don't know. What do you think?
I am really glad you asked this question because it's so important, and I really love that you pointed out that you use your credit card insurance. So this is going to sound like a cop-out, but you always need to read the details of your travel insurance because I had a friend who was in Puerto Vallarta when there was the cartel, quote-unquote, violence, even though there was no violence whatsoever, and she tried to claim her travel insurance because she got stuck there for 2 days, and then travel insurance denied her because they said it was public uprising. There's so much fine print in your credit card insurance that sometimes it's worth looking at a separate policy. But I will say this, don't travel without travel insurance. It's just something you need to plan for. In case anything happens in the world, you do have kind of like a backup plan.
Okay. Extra, apart from your credit card.
That's right.
Okay. All right. All great advice. Barry, super talking to you. Thanks so much.
No problem. Have a great one.
You too. Bye.
Unmistakably Canadian.
It's the music that raised you.
The artists raising the bar.
Hi, this is Bryan Adams.
Hey, my name's Brett Emmons. I'm from the Glorious Sons.
Hi, I'm Nelly Furtado.
Made in Canada. The station that champions Canadian music.
Loud, proud, and all yours.
No passports required. Just press play.
Tap into Made in Canada now on iHeartRadio.ca
or the free iHeartRadio app.